Om. Hariom, everyone. Good evening. So glad we're here together and grateful that we have this opportunity to be together on this long weekend. Um, our environmental effort by Jinmai Mission Niagara to engage seekers to learn um, how to and then change their lifestyle to align with loving our earth, which originally was called Prithvi Seva Sangha, began back in January of 2022. And we're coming up on finishing 3 years, and it's been um, quite, quite the experience. And we've built a community of loving Earth that really we've done so much. And reflecting back on what we've engaged in terms of at an individual level, at a center level, is quite inspiring. We've held various initiatives. Just this past year, we completed efforts for awe. We've fundraised for numerous environmental organizations, also have supported youth in supporting their projects and their wonderful ideas through Pioneers for the Planet. We've held a grand Prithvi Utsava, published a Prithvi Seva guide for centers. And then most recently, we had our first Loving Earth retreat called Living Lightly, Thinking Deeply at Chinmay Mission Saraswati in Orange, Connecticut this past October. So today we're here to share that inspiration that we all felt, whether you attended or not. And we have a lot in store for you today. We'll get a glimpse of the retreat from youth that were there through lots of visuals and pictures, listening to those who attended and also taught at the retreat. And then there's going to be a lot of work that we're going to do. There's going to be a lot of engagement on whiteboards, and then we're going to collectively decide on our commitments for this coming year. And then we'll close with the opportunity for questions and open sharing. The retreat was unique, not only because it was our first Loving Earth retreat, but also because we had a virtual planning team, and then we had the center at Connecticut, that planning team. And so our virtual Loving Earth team, Aditya, Zui, Rupali, Rupa, and Yeshna, focused on the theory and the vision of the retreat, and our dedicated family in Connecticut, they put that vision into a reality for us. Usha ji, Vidya ji, Neeta, Prashanti, Mahendra, Neeraj, I might be missing people, Rani, Shobha. It's such a wonderful community that really they were ever so ready and willing to just try anything, and all very patient of our asks. So, on behalf of all, our deep gratitude to both the Loving Earth and Connecticut planning teams and the warm Connecticut Chinmay community. When envisioning this retreat, the focus really was on simplicity. And we'll start with sharing some of that with you visually. Each of the details to avoid waste was tended to, from creating a lasting Loving Earth retreat sign that the Connecticut community, they stitched from on-hand material without buying anything new. Um, from that lovely sign that you see there, to reusing yogurt cups, to a well planned out dishwashing station. Yeah, thank you for the next slide. That was really designed for us to wash our reusable plates to avoid water waste. The food that was served was simple and clean, served on reusable plates and utensils. We also had one of our seekers serve us vegan cupcakes. We composted the food scraps and the pizza boxes. All of this and so much more was so carefully executed, as you will see and hear today. So let's get started, and we're going to hear from Navia.
Hariom, I'm Navya, an 8th grader at Balvihar, and I recently attended the Loving Earth retreat at Chinmaya Saraswati. This retreat deeply impacted me and my way of thinking about our Earth. I learned several new things, such as the fact that most of the items we put in the recycling bin don't actually get recycled. Instead, we should reuse and repurpose different items around our house, which is one of the many new things me and my family have started doing since attending this retreat. Throughout the retreat, we participated in several fun activities, such as playing soccer, visiting a having a fair to showcase all the different ways we can help our Earth. Our Earth provides us food, water, and love, which is why we should help keep our Earth safe to show our kindness and gratitude. This retreat was so much fun because not only did I get to learn about keeping the Earth safe, but I also got to meet different people and meet new friends who have the same mindset as me and are eager to learn. This retreat was an amazing experience, and I hope I get to attend the next one soon. Thank you.
It was very meaningful to observe a lot of us. I think there were about total maybe 100 or so, if you start including all people who were involved in the journey. Uh, Getting there. Just reflecting, being in nature, thinking about environment in a concentrated way under guidance of our guides. There was this Chinmaya Earth Fair that was facilitated, which seemed to be very innovative and hit at such. There were more than 15 or so tables that were organized by our own community members. They were sharing expertise. There was a table on wormiculture, the first picture that you're seeing, they're playing with earthworms. Children learned about mending and sewing instead of throwing away things. Vivekji is doing a beautiful puzzle Rupa put together. They learned about beeswax candle making. There was earth bingo they played during the time. And all these different activities, how to make festivals sustainable. Our high schoolers, they actually ran a Mythbusters table. So Earth Fair was pretty meaningful in very many ways. And if you feel like you want to start an Earth Fair at your center, feel free to reach out and we can chat and just borrow the ideas that the Connecticut team helped us develop throughout the retreat. We also had a field trip at a place called Common Ground, where we learned lots about composting. The picture on the bottom left corner is a huge, big composting place. Children played in mud kitchens. There were vegetable gardens we could pick from and eat, lots of play areas and pets and trails and farm. It was just very meaningful place that our Connecticut team found for us to really practice being in nature in much more stronger and meaningful way and learn about sustainability. So here's lots of pictures with pets. And if you're able to type in chat, who is the unique animal you're seeing? Are you seeing any unique animal? Somehow today I'm not able to see your chat, but Rita, maybe if you want to share something that's shared in chat.
Not yet. Asking everybody, please
Ooh.
share. A turkey? Somia saying maybe her kids.
Yes, yes. Biology would say human beings are also animals.
We
Yes.
have a
So
lot saying
yes,
the goat. Yeah.
yes. And I don't know how Vivekji uses a greatest of all times. I guess that's a different goat. But in general, we were able to experience them. of course, soccer. And we had s'mores and games in the evening. One very cool, unique part that I thought that there were signs, reminders, Smarana put throughout the ashram on all different topics. That if we keep our faucet on when we are washing our hands, how much water we are very likely losing, and what we could do to deeply sort of think about it and what we could change in our lives. So there was these reminders all over the ashram. And if you would like to have those signs and post it at your center or school, anywhere, just email and we'll send those signs to you. Again, youth also made bags with old t-shirts. So instead of throwing it away, just reusing things as such. And we can send you the link of how to make bags out of the t-shirts. Thank you, Rita. And I think Neil is going to talk about it a little bit more on how youth sort of develop various entrepreneurial ideas on their own. And they learn from Sri Rama's Reveries in Nature in their classes. What else did they do?
We have your food.
What I appreciated, our teachers were amazingly creative, and they youth let them be, as well as sort of think about their own selves and think about Mother Earth. There's lots of outdoor seva as such done in the ashram. One more quick glimpse through a video. Vivekji sort of coined a term during our discourses on how we could all practice earth yoga, which is a major part of our living that we need to have earth nowadays. And we also developed commitments, wrote letters to ourselves that we are going to send back later. And eventually the banner was passed on to the Boston team. So mark your calendars. I think first week of November, weekend probably, or maybe second. We will have our next Loving Earth retreat in Boston. And a lot of you who are here, I'm seeing, live pretty close to Boston. So we can just drive and not even have additional carbon footprint too. And none of this would have happened without tireless love of our guides, our Devi, and just efforts from our Guru Shishya Parampara. And I think Shobha is going to share with us now what we learned through the discourses.
Hari Om, everyone. So immense gratitude to everyone, the Loving Earth team, Vivekji, Sumanji, Shashikalaji. This was a life-changing retreat for me. And it seems so basic, but the bhava that I could feel from all the discourses, even the fact that I couldn't attend one of them for personal reasons, by the end of the retreat, some of the things that I do now, I don't think I would have thought of before. So I felt like as Vivekji started off with chapter 11 and telling us about, prior to that, talking about Raja Prithu and his method of teaching of how we should all follow, felicitate, facilitate. I thought of the fact that this retreat, as in chapter 11, verse 8, Shri Krishna tells Arjuna, you cannot see me, but I will open up your eyes with divinity. And this is what I truly felt. I felt that I could now see more than I could see before. He says that now you cannot see me, but you can feel me. And feel.
Shobha, maybe you're muted by mistake. I could hear you. You can see me, but now feel me. I heard it until then.
I'm so sorry. Wait, did you hear me at all or no? Did you hear anything I said?
I can see you, but now feel me. Until that, I heard you.
I don't know. Okay, fine. Okay, sure. I'll just continue on. Basically, with the preface of chapter 11, Vivekji aptly, discussed all the various methods of how being active. Then the four main words that really stuck to me were active, being an activist, and then acceptance and acknowledgement. And each of the verses really talked and expanded more on it. So in verse 33, he says, you can feel me now, you can be an activist by being an instrument. Am I still there? Yes, by being an instrument, nimitta matram, of his divine work. And as we do this, we feel that earth should be our community. And this is my favorite, verse 36, where he says, Tane, all is as all is acceptance. So when we see everything as the earth, we feel compassion and we accept that you are the doer, is what Arjuna is telling Krishna. And earth is made up of elements, and elements are dependent on the existence. I love that once we went through all of these, and there was, of course, a lot of repetition as we went through, it made us reflect even more on, for us to feel the differences. Is what we are purchasing, is it worth buying? Are these all things that we really need? Because with Bhava and Bhagavan's grace, everything we touch and we feel and we do is Mother Earth. So it really was, more, very thought-provoking, and hopefully would have changed many of our minds and our ways we live. So following this, Shashikala ji on the second day talked about the Durva Stutram. And Bhagavan is everywhere. And with the blades of grass, each of us is like a blade of grass, and it's connected with the roots into the earth. And with that the roots are connected to consciousness and within us, Bhagavan. So everything, the grass is just 20 to 40% of our land, is what the earth gives us. So everything is about Bhagavan, and Prithvi is Bhagavan, the earth is Bhagavan. So again, coming down to being active, an activist, acceptance and acknowledgement, diversity and unity, and what is our relationship with earth. At the end, when we connected all of this with our fair and our projects that we, the children did, and with everybody, there were other people from the outside who came, and they showed us various ways, and plant swapping and so on and so forth. During the retreat, all of these connected to how we actively spent our entire day washing utensils, not wasting, repurposing, reusing. I feel that it was a moment of change. And I think if I felt that the minute I came home, actually, every time I turned the shower on, I have a bucket of water, because I save the water and I actually use it to flush the toilet now, because Prashanti taught me that. So yes, I have much gratitude for everything that was shared, and I hope that we can continue this.
Thank you so much, Shobha. And I guess chapter 11 was pretty meaningful when Vivekji was
Yes,
talking about, and Durva Sukta was new to a lot of us.
yes,
And
yes,
thinking about how every time grass is everywhere, and how can I forget Prithvi Devi or Bhagwan
yes.
everywhere, anywhere that I'm walking. Very
So, and there was, sorry, one more thing I just wanted to mention, because it's just stuck to my mind all the time. And ultimately, seva, satsanga, satsanga, seva, sadhana, satsanga, seva, sadhana. So ultimately, if we don't have the sadhana, nothing will be meaningful to continue. And I think with the grace of, Vivek ji and all of our gurus and all the teachings, and if we understand this and we really feel this, that the earth is part of us, we would be able to continue this and spread the word to everyone.
So totally true. Like so many times we as earth advocates become jaded, feel burned out, feel dejected, and the Stane reminder, Nimitta Matra reminder, grass reminder was meaningful. So as going in line with the retreat's theme, thinking deeply, we wanted to encourage you to think deeply for next 5 minutes or so with the whiteboard exercise. I will share the whiteboard. And if you haven't used it before, feel free to ask questions in chat and we can help you use it. You being on a computer is more helpful than you being on a phone. It will take a minute. On the bottom right of your screen, you could zoom in, zoom out into things if needed. So click on any one sticky note, type your name first, and then reflect on how environmentalism has taught, how has environmentalism taught you about yourself? And write one reflection per sticky note. We'll spend about 2-3 minutes. We just quietly reflecting and just typing on the sticky note. One learning per sticky if possible. If you need to add more sticky notes, please do.
I like how this is getting filled up.
Feel free to use more sticky notes than one. If possible, add your name. It builds accountability, as well as if people want to ask clarification questions, reach out to you later. Hey, I'm working on the same thing. It helps build connections if you're able to. So if you've thought about your own sticky note or what environmentalism has taught you about yourself, let's take a couple of minutes to read each other's. And if you click on a sticky note, a toolbar opens up where you can add an emoji to somebody else's sticky, or you could even comment on the sticky. So for a minute or so, I'm going to stop sharing the whiteboard. And if we could sort of bring back our attention. What we were sort of observing throughout the retreat that there were a lot of spots for sit and reflect, read, write, think, as well as act. And each seeker joined in all different places, some from Texas, one from Texas, quite many from Boston. I think Vismay joined from New Jersey. So just was good to see dedicated individual thinking about Mother Earth and really wanting to change ourselves simultaneously. So Vismay wanted to share some thoughts with us.
Hari Om, everyone. You guys able to hear me okay? Thank you. Okay, so let me just start by saying thank you so much for the opportunity. And it was always a privilege to go to Connecticut and then connect with an amazing set of individuals and get those learning. It always refreshes me. Just like, so I'm an athlete, I run, I swim. Just like when I come out for my run, or out from pool, this is similar experience, full of energy. You go there, and then 3 days just ends like in a whisker. Initially, when my wife signed me up, I think 3 years back, it was a little difficult to know what is happening, even for the kids. But from that point onwards, like that was a push, but from that point onwards, it's always a pull. And it's as soon as you tell kids, hey, we have to go for a retreat, they were like, okay, what is the topic this time? What is the learning? Will there be a soccer? And then will there be our friends? And then they were like ready in no time. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for the organizers. It's an amazing, really heartwarming retreat every single time. This time also, Mother Earth, I couldn't know more about myself that, hey, I don't need that many resources to live a fulfilling life. And then while coming from here, the almost 2.5 hours, we were chatting in the car with my family that, hey, how we can change our lifestyle. Things were so simple. Like you go, you wash your hands, and there is a sticky note there saying that, hey, you can, if you take a quick shower, you can save that much water. And it never came to our mind that saving earth or saving resources, it's so simple. My daughter, she got, we were very fortunate that she got picked up, and then she got a compost for as a prize. We got that bin, we set it up with her. I set it up with her, and now our daily garbage produce, or probably a week, we used to put at least 1 or 2 garbage bags outside. Now it came to almost half of it, and then most of that also we can pretty much put into recycling. So it's a work in progress, but the the learnings, it's just completely amazing. That plant swap thing, my daughters, they pick their own plants. Now they put them in their rooms, and then they are giving water religiously, more religiously than myself. And then they're reminding me that, hey, Dad, you need to make sure that your plant leaves are drying or something like that. So it's very humbling to see that, the learnings what they got from there, and then it's still in them. They're continuously becoming a great, amazing individuals. I will just want to share maybe a 1 or 2 minutes, a short story, at least aha moment for me. When we went on a field trip, we were all going up. It was a crisp, amazing day with little cool wind. When we were going up, everything was fine. But then at one point, I was like, it's all shady. It's all shade. There is no sun out, and then wind started blowing, and I felt a little chill. That time I got reminded, say that our life is just like this. That I don't know. At that point, I thought maybe I should come down rather than going up or completing the trail. That was a reminder in our life that every single time, if there is, our life is filled with decisions or some of the tough things which comes where people tend to see darkness and then they tend to move on. But then suddenly sun came out, and then I feel the warmth, and which makes me push forward. So this retreat is just like that sun, which gives me energy, and that energy is coming from my within, which helps me to move forward and then fight that coldness or those cold winds for the life. So I think it's an amazing, amazing retreat. When while coming back, kids were like, okay, when is the next retreat? And they were talking to me about, hey, are they going in Boston this year? Let's just make sure that you keep us updated. So I think that's what my reflection. Thank you.
Thank you, Ismay. I think the retreat stayed true to its name, thinking deeply, living lightly, and everyone around us changing inspires me to change, um, inspires me to not be dismissive, as Shobha mentioned on the sticky, or not take the path of convenience. So very appreciate everybody's sharing in this journey. So now moving to going deeper from our thinking to actually acting it, living lightly. I'm going to share whiteboard again for a prompt for us to think about living lightly a bit more. Okay. Here, if you're able to similarly type what actions can we take to take care of the environment at an individual level or organizational level at your school, work, or at center. Maybe write one action per sticky note.
So Zooey, a question generally about what we've learned over these past few years about some high impact sort of actions that that we can take. So like we've done some workshops on greening our electricity. So whether that's switching our our source of electricity or our solar panels. What others come to mind for you?
Thank you for reminding me of green electricity. Like even if you're staying in an apartment or in a home, but just by signing up for green electricity would cut down my carbon footprint by 30 to 40%. That's a huge amount, right? So that's pretty powerful. I've been trying to buy negative emission flights. Yeah, it's costing a few bucks more here and there, if and when I can. Usually nonstop flights are better, but then they're costlier. We have to offset our carbon footprint somehow. What have you been trying, Rita?
Yeah, like so travel is a huge one. Electricity is big. I know another big one, which I think we've talked about quite a bit, is also food waste. And though that feels like an action that is really doable in our households. And also in at large events, like when we have our big festivals at our centers and we have our celebrations. And one thing from my personal experience is the more I do that, try that zero waste path, I can, it becomes easier to explain it at a larger level than for others. Whether it's, learning alternative ways of thinking in terms of what I'm using, what I'm serving, maybe serving more finger foods that don't require plates and spoons and things like that.
I really like how you're saying that when we have lived it, it's very easy to, it's simpler to share it with others. So if we have all gotten a chance to think about actions we are taking on individual or community level, feel free to again write comments. You can also write comments on the stickies, or you could put reactions. There are few ones that I'm seeing. Yogurt containers, yes, overall great idea. If you're able to stretch yourself, make your own yogurt. It's very, very simple. I think at some point in our WhatsApp group, it was posted about 4 or 5 people have started making their yogurt. It's a pretty simple recipe. So then we don't even have to have the plastic containers as such. Anyone would like to, or finding anything meaningful that you'd like to share, highlight on the sticky note? Feel free to unmute and speak or type it in chat. Something that stood out for you. Like,
I just had hosted Thanksgiving, and I think it was probably the first time that I didn't go and purchase fancy Thanksgiving plates, and I used all the real plates that we had, and everybody that was here took part in like washing and cleaning, and it's so nice. I think many of our homes, we have so many dishes that we sometimes don't even use because it's so easy to reach for the single-use disposables. So wanted to share that.
Mhm, mhm.
Hari Om. A great idea for a centerpiece for either Thanksgiving or Christmas or any other event is you can take like a milk carton, wash it thoroughly, and put boiled water in it. And like for Thanksgiving and all, you can put all these different colored leaves and berries, and even sometimes like a toy bird or whatever, and freeze the whole thing. Put it in the freezer, it'll freeze. And before your party starts, put it in a big enough bowl that as it starts melting, all the water gets collected in the bowl. And the same thing you do for other events. Actually, it's quite fun because the kids like you put butterflies and all kinds of stuff, they love doing that. So that's like a very economical way of doing something really nice.
So thank you, Vidita. Very awesome. Go ahead, Samya.
We had a kid's birthday party, which is a little bit of a nightmare in its own, but I couldn't convince my kids otherwise this year. But we combined both our kids and the neighborhood kids, so it was a birthday party for 4. So you didn't supposed to 4 sets of cupcakes and all the nonsense. You just got it down to 1. My kids are mostly asleep, so I feel like I can say that. But we also asked people to bring their own plates. We did have compostable plates on hand, but I was really inspired. It was right after the retreat, and I think I was so appreciative that I had seen how people got over the awkward request of asking that. Like I think Vidya especially did such a nice job, and so then I felt a little bit braver to send out that email and say no gifts, but also bring your own plates, please. And so I really appreciated that timing of that retreat for me to sort of help me be a little bit brave with that awkward request.
So on the similar note, what we also did for Thanksgiving and others in our community, we started pooling up the plates. So at this time, since it is just the start, there were like a 40 people gathering. We pulled up to 30 plates, but the rest of 10 were plastic or paper, but it's a start. And even the other folks are amazed at how easy it is. And otherwise, you have like maybe 4 or 5 big garbage bags out. At that time, maybe it's like just 1, and that is because of those 10 were not there. So it's so simple and so easy. Everyone after the party, they able to help washing the dishes. So it was an amazing experience for everybody. It's like a assembly line production. So, and everybody was laughing and having so much fun. It's an amazing experience.
I just wanted to mention from the retreat, the one thing that I really liked, piggybacking on what Vismay said, that actually it brought us together versus using the plate and throwing it. We were all together in these groups and talking to each other. We didn't even know. I don't even think I was sometimes on the schedule, or some of us were just doing it when we could. And I think that's the same at home. When, what we've used a couple of times where no paper plates, but now you're actually getting together and having to interact as a result. So that's a byproduct.
I keep asking myself, how do I get over the comfort of asking someone? So at work, we said, okay, our holiday parties, can we really try it zero waste? I didn't have a courage to ask, but somebody else started it. Then I got on the bandwagon for it. In terms of getting even napkins, paper napkin, bring your own cloth napkin. Part of me kept thinking like, oh, I have lived all my life when I grew up in India without a napkin. Why do I need a napkin? to start with. But yes, I do then bring your own cloth napkin. So hopefully at work, we are going to have a larger zero waste holiday party this year. But it couldn't have happened without the Loving Earth community in general, this consistent support from retreats and places that keeps reminding me that it is not about my comfort. It cannot be any more about my comfort. And the moment I make it about my own comfort and convenience, I'm not being my best self. So I think, Rita, we have some cool things from our teachers too, right? That you want to share?
Hey all, my name is Neil. I taught grades 5 and 6 at the Loving Earth retreat. One way the retreat inspired me to make personal changes for Loving Earth is to walk more and to bike more. These are the most eco-friendly means of transportation. They're good for your health as well as good for the environment and for Loving Earth. So that's something I've been more mindful of since the retreat. I saw a lot of potential in the students, particular example when they had the recess time, free time one day, they started playing Shark Tank, where everyone was pitching their own creative ideas for how to help the environment. And that shows that they already have that drive and have that initiative, that the desire is manifesting even during their free time. So ways we can empower them to take that initiative, I think it's just to ask them what they need, because they have the desire and the initiative on their end already. All they need is the support, and they would know best what different resources they require. So broad idea is to ask them what they need. And one way that could be executed is to maybe organize a Shark Tank competition for real. Ask groups of students to come up with proposals for either a new initiative they can undertake or an existing initiative they can build and expand upon, and be very specific about what resources they need in order to accomplish that. And resources, not just money, but the contacts, timelines, whatever the plan is. And if you ask for those specific, detailed, formal proposals, then they can make an effective ask. And once the ask is there, then we can provide the support. So that's one specific way to execute, but broader idea is to ask them what they need, and that will empower them to take initiative.
Hari Om, my name is Neetu, and I recently attended the Loving Earth, Thinking Deeply, Living Lightly, Chinmay Mission Niagara retreat. I had the good fortune of teaching grades 2 to 4, and I'm going to share 2 quick insights that I hope will be helpful. One is how the retreat inspired me to make personal changes for Loving Earth. Prior to this retreat, I thought living in an apartment, composting was impossible and not an option for me. Now I realize that all that was a self-limiting belief coming from my lack of knowledge. Post-retreat, I've immediately started composting. You'd be surprised how easy it is. Other things I have implemented is thinking more carefully about limiting my single-use waste in all of my purchasing decisions. I have put a rock in my flush to limit water waste. And my 3-month aspiration is to try to make homemade laundry detergent to eliminate plastic waste, something I learned how to do at this retreat. All of these inspirations have come from a deep understanding of ourselves as nothing but an extension of nature. And seeing so many wonderful families attend the retreat, curious, hopeful, and just wanting to do better, was the most inspiring thing for me to implement these changes. The second thing I would like to share is a picture from my class. As you can see, this picture depicts Lord Rama as an embodiment of the sun and how everything in our ecosystem is nourished and sustained by the sun. This wonderful picture was drawn by a 7-year-old girl in my class, and just to see the depth of understanding and the understanding of integration that is depicted in this picture is truly amazing and a testament to how wonderful this retreat was.
So Nita is sharing with us what happened at the center level, right? So we learned from teachers, we heard from seekers.
Hariom, can you see my screen there?
Yes,
You can see it,
yes,
Bill.
we can. Yeah.
Okay. Hariom, Nita. So I'm a seeker from the Chinmaya Saraswati Center in Orange, Connecticut. And we had the wonderful opportunity to collaborate with the Loving Earth community and host the first Loving Earth retreat. And what a wonderful weekend it sure was. And just wanted to quickly just go through some of the Going Green initiatives that we have already implemented at Chinmaya Saraswati. And many of these have actually had started many years ago, before even I joined the mission, almost 10, 15 years ago. Usha Ganapati, who's one of our seekers, which I'm sure many of you are aware of, she studied many of these simple changes in our Bal Vihar and festival times. For example, when we did the Ganesh Puja, we would, long time ago, we would buy little idols and share those. And those have been changed now. She makes a homemade Play-Doh, and the children get to make their own Ganesha. Even for the actual pujas, we used to use plastic cups and spoons, and we've got away with all that. And we just use the akshadam, the rice grain. Even for our Shivaratri celebrations, we were using pebbles and sand. And even that now we have eliminated and just changed that celebration to just chanting and listening to shlokas and being in like a meditative state. And then even during our Bal Vihar classes themselves, we've asked all the children and adults to all bring their own water bottles, their own, plates for annadhanam, their spoons. We're also asking them to bring, adults to bring their leftover containers for their leftovers. So that's really like working great. Before we were using like zip, lock bags and things like that. We've also had a Indian clothes swap, which was really well received too, and very simple to organize. In fact, many of the Yuva Kendra children helped to organize that. In terms of our Bal Vihar classroom supplies, we really do not purchase any items annually at all. All the items are either donated by families or families who no longer have young children, and they've donated, in that respect. And just repurposing, reusing, even for our arts and supplies, we're always asking for families to, whatever they don't use at home or what we have lying around, we just bring, and we've created a nice supply center there at the ashram for all the teachers to use. We've also eliminated styrofoam use from the ashram. We're reusing the aluminum foil trays. Like when you bring some food in there, we just wash them and reuse them. We've made outdoor benches out of stone and tree trunks because we have a large wooded lot. So we have lots of trees and stones to use for that. We've also installed energy efficient bulbs in our whole ashram and motion sensors. We have our annual Chinmaya Utsav fundraiser each year. We've started to use compostable products for that with the hopes of eventually using, china and crockery. We also use repurpose and reuse centerpieces each year, so we're not purchasing, big bouquets of flowers and things to that extent. We also made edible centerpieces, which was really well received also. We've eliminated with parting gifts. And also, we're using an online pledge form for donations, which was also really well received. So we've done away with the whole paper forms. And so, two of the main projects that are in the works are really trying to eliminate the one-time use of plastic products completely at the ashram. And then also a group of individuals are looking into installing solar panels at the ashram. We are on a big wooded lot, so we have a lot of trees. So there's a lot of work that still needs to be done, but it's you know, a plan in progress. So looking forward to all these new implementations. And so together, I think we all can save our Mother Earth. You know, we do a little bit. And I think that little bit adds up, and we start practicing and inspiring others. And I think we all together can really protect our Prithvi Mata. So, Hari Om.
Thank you, Nita, for sharing. And so many years I've come to Connecticut Center. Every time they're doing something that is a little bit going out of comfort zone, getting everyone along, walking along with everyone on this journey of change for Mother Earth, with Mother Earth. I've just seen great ideas coming from Connecticut, and I'm hoping one day there'll be a Bal Vihar politician who'll get the green energy laws in Connecticut changed.
Yes,
So
hope
that
so.
would be awesome. Yes, and I guess it will happen. It will happen. So
Definitely.
appreciate sharing that. As we are wrapping up, everyone, we used the whiteboard 2 times. At the same time, I would like us to make one commitment in chat. One commitment related to environmentalism that you are going to follow through. I will encourage you to make it more an organizational, larger group commitment than individual, but it's up to you, for 2025 or starting today. Awesome, Malati. If you need ideas on which composting bin to buy, we can send you the links, tested and tried by many people.
Also, in case anyone missed it in the chat, we also want to thank Deepa from Cleveland, who her idea, you know, we had the Earth Fair tables, and then we decided to make it into a bingo game. And then what do? Everybody wants, you know, how to make it meaningful. And Deepa came and had offered this compost bin. And the idea was that she passed it to somebody, and then that next family would pass it on to someone else, meaning purchase another one for someone else. So really grateful for that idea, Deepa, and for the execution.
And like I don't know, Rita, maybe I missed it. It's also like she does it like a paid forward.
Yes, exactly.
So like,
yeah.
Vismay, who are you going to gift the next one to?
Don't put him on the spot yet. You let us know.
Well, Vanya already have some ideas. She already promised her 2 friends, so.
Very nice. So everyone, we are coming up on our hour, so recognizing that it is late for everyone on the East Coast, we'll formally close. If anyone wants to stay back for questions and reflections, we can do that for about 5 minutes, but we'll just close formally. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone.